Well, do you have a retirement plan? There's a new study out that shows that over half of Americans do not, which is why Matt Landon is here. He's a certified financial planner and CEO of Senmax Financial Group. All right, so that is a striking number, that half do not. What is behind that, do you think?
Well, I think there's a couple things at play here. One of the things is that we have not done a great job as a society of understanding our own tax situation and where our funds come from. And it's interesting because in that same study, not only do 56% of people not have a plan, 45% of them don't understand the distributions of their different money types. So I think it's really important when we're talking about a plan that we start off with a little bit of education of what do I actually have? How is this money invested? And what's the right order for me to pull it from?
Okay, let's talk about this. So often when you come on here, you talk about like a written retirement income plan. Explain what that is and what that includes.
Yeah, so I think it includes a couple different things. One, it starts off with how much income do I need? You know, in saying, where am I going to create this? Part of it may come from Social Security. If you have a pension, part of it may come from a pension. It may also come from your different investable accounts. This could be your IRA account, your 401k, your 403bs. This could be after-tax money, you know, things like a trust account or somewhere along those lines. But one of the big things that a plan really needs to include is the different distribution sources for your money, but also accounting for any kind of a downturn. What if we don't have good market conditions? Are we still going to be okay?
Okay. For someone who's watching who doesn't have a written plan, and they're thinking to themselves, I am one of those 50%, right? And they're like, there's no shame in that because you got plenty of company.
Correct.
Right? What is the first step?
I would say the first step is to look at the taxability of your accounts. And so there's actually a QR code that we can throw up and people can see it. And what it does is it shows you a little bit of that tax liability. You can look at your different money types and understand the tax consequence. Because at the end of the day, even more important than what you have is what you keep. So when you talk about withdrawals and how they're taxed, you've got your 401k, you've got your brokerage account, you have your Roth account. So pulling those together is a huge piece of that retirement plan.
Okay, and so I'm guessing we have the QR code. I want to ask one more time before we go if we've got that QR code so that we can pull that up so that you can take just a picture of that with your phone from home. All right, so we don't have it. Sorry about that. Live TV happens sometimes. Matt,
you can always find it on the website later, right?
Okay, yes. And speaking of that, our conversation is going to be under the website tab called To Finance Your Future. We'll be right back.